Good morning, everybody. I love camping and I love coffee, so I wanted to make a video about what I think are the best ways to make coffee while at the campsite. There are a ton of ways to make coffee, but these are my favorites. I've got a few different tiers of coffee making, but we're going to start with the method that I use 95% of the time, and that is pour over. A while back, I used French press most of the time, but then I switched to pour over mostly because it's an easier cleanup. For reference, the coffee that I use is home roasted. I've been roasting my own beans since 2018. Pour over and French press are both great options, and they're both going to give you a great cup of coffee. They're both pretty simple and straightforward to make, but again, the cleanup for pour over is easier because when it's done, you can just take the filter and throw it away. That's it. With French press, you get a good cup of coffee, but then you get all those loose grounds stuck on the bottom, and then you got to kind of scrape them out, and you got to use more water to get it to be clean. To make my pour over, I simply pour my boiled water into the grounds and then it drips right into the mug. I use this amazing space-saving collapsible pour over dripper, so it's super easy to store in my truck. Making the French press is simple as well. Just pour the boiled water into the grounds in the French press, stir, and then let it steep for about 5 minutes. Then push the plunger down to filter the coffee and then pour your coffee into the mug and enjoy. In summary, both of these are a great option to make good coffee at the campsite if you're not in an extreme rush, but personally I recommend the pour over. I do want to mention a runner-up in this category, and that would be the mocha pot. The mocha pot is always a great way to make a good cup of coffee. I just stopped using this camping because I found that it took a little bit longer to make the coffee. But let's move on to the next tier. My next favorite way to make coffee is how I do it if I'm either in a rush in the morning or if I'm backpacking, and that is instant coffee with either these packets or this tea bag coffee. Sometimes we just want to get out of our campsite ASAP or get on the trail as quickly as possible, but that doesn't mean I necessarily want to skip my coffee. I've never had an instant coffee that tastes quite as good as my fresh home roasted coffee, but it's literally ready in an instant. Just boil your water and then either add the coffee from the instant packet or just drop the tea bag in there. I prefer the packets over the tea bags because just like pour over, it's an easier cleanup, especially for backpacking. And I want to give a huge shout out to Cascadia Coffee Roasters of Portland, Oregon for sending me some of their coffee for this video, my favorite and my go-to when I used instant coffee. I talked to the owner, Jason, a little bit, and he and his wife developed this coffee because they love the backcountry and they love coffee and they wanted the lightest way to take cafe quality coffee into the backcountry. So if you're looking for a high quality instant coffee to take into the backcountry, check out Cascadia Coffee Roasters. But with these packets, all you have to do is pack out the tiny little packaging. With the tea bag coffee, you have to pack out the packaging and the tea bag, which could get a little bit messy. Both are great options for when you need a quick and easy way to make coffee at the campsite, and I always keep some of these packets in my truck for when I need them. And lastly, what has become the most exciting and the most bougie way to make coffee at the campsite, and that is with the Bellman CX25P espresso maker with milk steamer. No joke, with this unit, I can now make a full-on espresso latte wherever I go and even practice my latte art at the campsite. I've only had this thing for a couple weeks, so I'm still working on perfecting it. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve. I will have a more in-depth video dedicated just to this, but here's how it works. First, you fill the inside with water using the 3 levels based on how much you need. Then you fill this with your ground coffee. So far, it kind of resembles how the mocha pot works, but it gets different. You seal it up, and then you got to make sure that these 2 valves here are closed.
Some days are good, some years are not. Knuckles on.
Now, when you heat it up, it builds up pressure. For espresso, you want the pressure gauge to be at about 2 bars.
Karma keeps me cautious.
Once it hits that level, you can gently open this valve, and that's how you get your coffee.
Just a little too honest to believe that I am safe.
You want to try to maintain 2 bars of pressure for the steamed milk, so if it dropped while opening it for the coffee, just keep it on the heat and let it build back up. Then over here for the steam wand, you can open up this valve to let steam out of the steam wand, and you want to try to let the milk spin in a circular motion.
Some things done when life's a stage, it's all mirrors and smoke, and everyone's a friend till the hard times come around.
And just like that, you've now got espresso and steamed milk at your campsite. That's it. That's how I make coffee at the campsite. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. And look out for that dedicated video on the Bellman that'll be coming soon. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you next time.